who teaches you many things, how to live your life, how to go about your daily ways. And I also thought about people who have helped build me into who I am for today. And I thought about friends, I thought about adults, and I ended up deciding that my mentor is my dad. He's an Eagle Scout. He kind of course, since both my parents have been there since my birth, he's taught me lots of stuff. And through this Eagle Trail, especially the last part of it, it's been a lot of learning and experiencing, and my dad and my mom have been great things in that, but my dad is slightly more calm about the way he does things. To my dad, the mentor pin. Thank you.
I'd like to call forward Angelo's father to present. He's got a reflection deal. So.
Thank you, Kenny. Scouts, Scouters, friends, family, honored guests, and especially Eagle Scout Angelo. Lee and I would like to thank you for helping us celebrate Angelo's accomplishments in being awarded as Eagle Scout. We are extremely proud of Angelo and hope that this acknowledgement will propel Angelo to greater heights in the future. Angelo, I personally would like to welcome you to the Eagle Scout fraternity. Also, your mom has decided to drop her Tiger Mom moniker and change it to Eagle Mom. Of course, in either case, she will be keeping her eye on you. I've watched Angelo grow in scouting from when he was a Tiger Cub, through Cub Scouts, Air of Light, and into Boy Scouts. Angelo seemed to enjoy his early scouting years and quickly moved through the ranks. During one summer camp, he completed 12 merit badges in 1 week. It seemed as if he was on the fast train to Eagle until he got his Life Scout. After that, he suddenly stopped. Not completely, but it was a significant drop off from when he started. What he did complete was his required Eagle merit badges, but regarding his project, it was barely treading water. Now, if you know Angelo, you know that he would rather not have the accolades that go along with getting an award. He wants the satisfaction that knowing in here that he did the job that he wanted to do in the way that he wanted to do it. That is the Angelo standard. I believe that Angelo created an Angelo Eagle standard, which was far loftier than any of his other standards before. The first rule of the Eagle standard was, thou shalt not think up an easy project. This rule effectively discarded the straightforward building and landscaping projects that other scouts have done. This also led to 3 years of aggravation for both his mom and me, wondering if he would ever get his Eagle Scout Award. In fact, if he wasn't able to be on staff at National Youth Leadership Training, NYLT, he would have quit scouting a few years ago. When I finally talked to him about his reluctance to start his Eagle Scout project, Angelo told me that he was not at the level of his standard of the ideal Eagle Scout yet. So he did not want to start until he met that standard. I finally figured out that his Eagle Scout standard was looking at the Eagle Scout Award as a destination and not as a milestone in the process of growing into an Eagle Scout. His reticence made me question my own thoughts of being an eagle. I discovered within myself that being an eagle is an internal feeling, and that obtaining my eagle was only a milestone in my own journey as an Eagle Scout. His reluctance actually gave me hope that Angelo would also have this epiphany, and that he will become an eagle with much greater understanding of what being an Eagle Scout. Angelo, although you aggravated your mother to no end, you helped me internalize and understand my Eagle journey better. For this, I thank you greatly. Fortunately, being on staff at NYLT kept Angelo involved in scouting. Otherwise, he would have been a statistic of those who stayed at life and didn't complete his last step. With NYLT, Philmont, Jamboree, and going to friends' Eagle Scout celebrations, and his coming senior year, Angelo modified his Eagle standard to include receiving his Eagle as a milestone in his journey to becoming Eagle. When Angelo finally started on his project, he decided to have a computer drive where he would correctly recycle the donated computers and to give some of those donated computers to the Miami Valley Family Care Center, which is a daycare center under the Catholic Social Services umbrella. Over 243 items, including 68 computers and 25 Windows licenses, were collected. In general, the donors felt a sense of relief that they were able to get rid of old stuff and not have their personal information jeopardized. Others felt they finally found the right place for their unused but valuable stuff. Even MVFCC itself donated old computers, monitors, and printers. 2 rooms at MVFCC were partially opened up when we hauled away their donation. Of the other donated computer systems, 20 were refurbished and installed at various rooms at the daycare. I felt that this project was a perfect fit to help Angelo grow into the Eagle standard that he wants to obtain. I saw a story on the internet about an eagle's behavior when a storm approaches, which I feel is apropos to your continued Eagle Scout journey. The story's title is Eagles in a Storm. Did you know that an eagle knows when a storm is approaching long before it breaks? The eagle will fly to some high spot and wait for the winds to come. When the storm hits, it sets its wings so the wind will pick it up and lift it above the storm. While the storm rages below, the eagle is soaring above it. The eagle does not escape the storm, it simply uses the storm to lift it higher. It rises on the winds that bring the storm. When the storms of life come upon us, and all of us will experience them, we can rise above them by setting our minds and our belief toward God. The storms do not have to overcome us. We can allow God's power to lift us above them. God enables us to ride the winds of the storm that bring sickness, tragedy, failure, and disappointment in our lives. We can soar above the storms. Remember, it is not the burdens of life that weigh us down. It is how we handle them. Angelo, I hope that this milestone of obtaining your eagle rank will propel you on your way to becoming the eagle that you want to be. Your mom and I hope that you will fly above the storms that enter your life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Marcello. Angelo now has a few words to say.
Oh gosh. So, there's lots of things that happened during the project, and I think a lot of thank yous are in order before I begin with speeches. Thank you, first off, to 2 really special volunteers, Joel Harris Angel, and Colin Kupowitz. These two volunteers are like crazy. Finding volunteers for my project was extremely difficult, and somehow Joel managed to be at every single chance to volunteer for me. I have no idea how or why you would ever do that, but I appreciate it a lot. And Colin had he had intense IT knowledge that many of my other volunteers didn't have. It made my job quite a bit easier. So thank you to volunteers, also to Calvin Coffin for managing to help me set up for volunteer sessions even when he was on the way to work. I kind of would just pull him and I'd say, you are going to help me with the setup, and then he'd just sit there and go, okay, even though he had like 15 minutes. So, yeah, you guys are all great. The people who would help me out for this project, really awesome. And I'd also like to thank Mr. Corzin, who isn't able to make it, but he's the one who actually led me toward MVFCC and helped me develop the project into what the final plan ended up to be. So I'd also like to thank him. I'd also like to thank, there's lots of thank yous. I'd like to thank the Hayes family, because if you look over at the centerpiece there, you'll notice there's candles with lights and it looks beautiful. That is all because of the Hayeses. Zach and me went out and designed the thing so that it could be used in the troop at later dates for regular Court of Honors as opposed to Eagle, and they can continue using it for years on end. And Mr. Hayes did some magical stuff with stains and color, and look, it's shiny and glossy, and you just kind of want to stare at it for days. I won't have it in my house to do that anymore, so yeah, thank you very much. It's been great. At this point, it's time for the speeching. So years ago, when I first initially thought about becoming an Eagle Scout, it was at this point years ago when I thought about the speech, that I said I take off all of the Eagle stuff. I take off the Eagle pin, Eagle medal, take the neckerchief off, set it down on the table, and walk out. Now, my dad talked about Angelo's standards for the multitude of that speech. And honestly, I do have crazy standards sometimes. But with Eagle, I did not want Eagle to be another mask for my character. We have a focus on making things look nice for everyone else, making things great so that people can look at you and go, oh, that is one happy guy, he doesn't have a problem in the world. And I saw Eagle, and I said I did not want Eagle to be another mask for me, another way that I can just hide behind something. So I wanted Eagle to be something that's more core in my life, how I live, how I choose to live. So today I will not be throwing my Eagle stuff onto the table. I won't be walking out. Because, unfortunately for me, I've decided that Eagle Scout is something that is more core and intrinsic in my being today than any other mask I've ever had. And I have lots of masks, from gas mask to gorilla mask. God knows, I've got masks. But the mask that I'm showing you today is a bit deeper. Like, let's say you make a latex mask and you spread that latex on the side so that it merges with your face. Well, let's just say that latex has completely merged with my soul. And I'd like to say that I am an Eagle Scout all the way, but unfortunately, not quite. I'm getting there. But it is not something that I can just cover myself with. I can't say, this is Eagle Scouts. Way back when, you'd almost say, I looked at myself, I said, Das, here. Das is not Eagle Scout, ja, Mama dear. Not Eagle Scout, not Eagle Scout, ja, Mama dear. Das what I learned in der school. Boom, boom. But unfortunately now I can't say the same. Times have changed, worlds have changed, and I've also learned that applying yourself leads you to greater things. I sat there and stared at myself and kind of cried in a corner of my house for a few days going, man, this Eagle Scout stuff, I'm totally not ready for this. But after a little bit of application, things work. You can apply yourself to being the kid who sits at home and doing nothing. And though you might say that is actually a lack of application, I just say it's an application in the wrong direction. You have to apply yourself to not apply yourself. And so apply yourself in the correct directions. Apply yourself so that you can keep your dreams, your values strong, so that you can grow as a person. We're here in a world where you look out and there's so many things that you can apply yourself to. Like, there's plants to look at. Hey, have you ever licked a leaf recently? Sometimes they taste weird, sometimes they taste good. Hey, have you ever gone out and just laid on the road? Sometimes, at like 12 o'clock at night, if you lay on the road, make sure there's no cars coming. It's kind of warm. That's interesting. And if you just sit there and you applied yourself to the world around you, to the people around you, there's so much that can be done, so much that you can build, so much that you can grow. And really, that is what I think the core of my Eagle Scout is. Applying myself to be better, to make the people around me better, even in the small ways. If you come to my house, I'll find a bug in your car and I'll take it out. If you come to my house, we'll play a little game, and I hope you come back with some sort of experience. If you sit in my car for a moment, maybe you'll find a dum-dum, and you'll happily eat the dum-dum as we are hanging out. Little things to bigger things, and just applying yourself to make the world a better place. It's hard, but it's worth it. So, yeah, that's all I really got. Hey, I'm still here. So, and Drew, glad you can make it. I heard there are issues on 75 with it being completely closed off for the Kentucky unit. So, yeah, keep going, guys. You're living life. You're shoved into this world, and no matter how you like it, you can't escape it. So.
Thank you, Angelo. Mr. Bowman, would you like your minute? Mr. Dietz, would you like your Scoutmaster minute?
I'll take it.
Awesome.
Yeah, you see Mr. Bowman pass the buck there. How are we going to follow that one? I'm supposed to say something inspirational or witty or something like that as a Scoutmaster minute. That's kind of the traditional thing. Something that tells the boys, hey, keep on keeping on, or something like that. I think Angelo covered that pretty well. I will say, in the course of him up here talking about laying in the road, I turned to Mr. Bowman and I said, it is not over. His parents are still in for a heck of a ride. But you heard Ray say earlier about 5% of boys who start scouting end up making it to Eagle. You've heard him and Angelo thanking people, friends and family, volunteers for the project, a kid who's 12, maybe 13, having crazy IT skills, just filling their potential. And I look around the room here and I see a couple of scouts over here. Of course, we got the front row. A couple of adults, volunteers in the middle who I know help with the troop. folks over here, of course, deeply involved in scouting, and I see a lot of folks who I've never seen before. And I have to assume that you guys played a big part in Angelo's life in some way or another, or you wouldn't be here. He either went to your door trying to sell wreaths. As a young scout, he probably sold you popcorn. You may have had him over at your house for a sleepover with your sons, or just generally supported him in some way. And thank you. At the risk of putting words into the mouth of Angelo and his parents, thank you. Thank you all. Because at the risk of also quoting somebody else, it takes a village, although I kind of don't like that phrase so much, but it does. It takes a lot of people to help raise our kids and to help them do well. And Angelo, while being extremely witty in what he said, there were a lot of nuggets of truth in that I'd be willing to take a copy of the video and probably quote from it. Because here's a kid who's 17, speaking with wisdom that a lot of us adults are looking back going, wow, I wish I'd have done that. And these are the kids that we're trying to grow in the truth. And so my Scoutmaster Minute is just to ask for your help in that. Whether you are an adult coming on Tuesdays to help with the troop, that's awesome. If you're just a neighbor, and I say that like it's minimal, but it's not. If you're just a neighbor, this kid's a scout. He's doing great things. If you can help him out in any way, maybe that frees his mind up to think some loftier thoughts rather than worrying about some other little things. So any way that you've helped a scout, or can help a scout, or even if a kid's not a scout, but he's a kid trying to get through life because things are tough nowadays, please continue doing it and doing those wonderful things for those kids, because it's different as an adult. You guys can think, man, the world is different now. If you screw up in school now, it's on Facebook within a moment, and everybody knows it. As a kid, we could do damage control, and hopefully it didn't get out. These kids have a tough life right now that we, as adults, kind of don't understand. And so anything we can do to help them out, I didn't say make their life easy, I said help them out, would be a great thing. So that's my Scoutmaster Minute, is just to ask for your help and to thank you for your continued support of Angelo and every other kid that you've helped, whether a scout or not, trying to get through life and become a responsible adult. Because they all want to get there, sometimes they just don't know how. And we can help them, we can challenge them, we can guide them, but as adults we should continue doing that. As scouts, eagles, we have eagles over here, we have an eagle right here, we've got a couple potential eagles in the room, got one over here. You guys are leading other kids, and they won't be perfect, and you won't be perfect, and we won't be perfect, but just keep helping and keep doing things with great intentions. So that's my request of the scouts, and my request of the adults is to just keep on helping these kids, because things are going to keep getting tougher as technology gets better and more expectations are put on them. And if it's in your heart to let them slow down a little bit and just think about life and stupid stuff of being a kid and trying to figure out what is flammable, what can be carved, what can be thrown and not hurt somebody, those are important things to growing up, I think. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Dietz. We are nearing the end of this Eagle Scout Corps of Honor, and we thank you for sharing this afternoon with us and hope that you will join us for a reception after the ceremony. At this time, I'd like to call forward Mrs. Jane Van Malian to give the benediction.
Thank you, Kenny. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to come together today as family, friends, leaders, and fellow scouts on this significant day in Angelo's life. We thank you for your support of everyone who has helped guide Angelo on the trail to Eagle. We are grateful for the scouting experiences and opportunities that have led to this day. Help Angelo to live up to the honor, responsibility, and expectation that this Eagle Award represents. Help him wear this title with pride and distinction, and help him understand that he is truly worthy of this award. Help him, Lord, to fly in your presence with the wings of an eagle. As we lift our hearts to you today, we ask you to continue to mold us and turn us toward those who are trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Angelo, may God's breath fill your wings and carry you to your destiny. May you continue to grow in wisdom, in stature, and in favor with God and your fellow man. May you keep yourself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. May you lead by influence and not by title alone, by using that delicate mix of humility, strength, example, and force. May you guide the lives of other young men, future eagles, for all of your days. Lord, we thank you for your guiding hand among this troop. As we celebrate your servant Angelo, let us continue to be inspired by him as we strive to worship you, to love each other, and to serve the world. And may the great Scoutmaster of all Scouts be with us until we meet again. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Mrs. Van Maligan. This Eagle Scout Court of Honor is now officially adjourned. Please proceed out the back hallway to the meeting room for the reception. Please enjoy the reception, and thank you very much for sharing in this celebration. Greg would like to give our closing flag ceremony.
Troop attention. Color guard advance. Prepare to lower the colors. Lower the colors. Scout right hand salute. 2. Color guard retreat. Color guard fall out. Up high. Troop ends.
All right, now we're dismissed. There is cake and other amazing refreshments and stuff. The cake is orange, like they printed the Eagle Scout badge orange, so enjoy that. Orange icing, I think, is better than red icing. I don't know. But just, I think we can go now, right? All right, you're all dismissed. Thank you.